As I mention often, I started and ran a sports media company. And one of the attractions in getting into sports was the nature of fans, the commitment that fans have to their teams, to their sport. It is fascinating to watch. It is a relationship that is different than any other relationship. When you see that kind of dynamic with a team, when you see that kind of dynamic in other areas with product or service or with a company, you really have developed something that is quite powerful and that can turn a relationship into a long-lasting commitment, a money-making enterprise, a enterprise that creates a movement that transforms individuals internally and externally, that can change the culture. So this idea of creating fans of your business is really something worth looking at. There was a book written, I think, some time ago called Raving Fans. And I don't think I read that book, to be honest with you, but it was certainly a book that covered the ideas that are relevant to this discussion, and that were certainly the ideas that we were focused on in our sports business. We would go to sports teams and we would examine with them the fan relationship, and we would explore with them the ideas associated with leveraging that relationship in bigger ways. Now, one thing we discovered in that process is that although the teams had these incredible fans, they often did not know who these fans were. They just knew that fans bought a certain number of season tickets, or fans did certain things, but having a complete understanding of their fans, nationwide or globally, they just did not have that, and they probably still don't have that today. We also discovered that that is a factor in other industries, in music and in entertainment, and if you can develop that in an area like that where people are so committed, you can do tremendous things. Now, in your business, you can use the principle of cultivating fans and really leverage that. And the thing that will happen for you in this process is you'll go beyond the idea of just transactions, and you'll move into a relationship. And the people who buy from you repeatedly will be committed to you. So there's a process in developing a great fan base. And there are some fundamentals that you have to keep in mind when you're seeking to develop a fan for yourself or for your business, and understanding how to leverage that effectively. The first thing, the most basic thing you have to do is commit to collecting names. Now, this is something that most businesses just won't do. They will not keep track of the people that come in and buy. Now, they have credit card data. They have transaction data. They might even have, in some cases, online data. But they have very incomplete data typically, and often they don't use it. I've worked with companies who make deliveries every single day, and they don't use the information tied to those deliveries again. They don't leverage those relationships anymore. They have people calling in, placing orders, and they don't use the information again. So the first thing you have to do is collect names, and you have to respect the power of a name, the power of the person, understanding who this person is, and not looking at it as just a transaction, as data, but as a person with whom you need to develop a relationship, someone you need to understand, someone you want to get to know, and someone you want to show appreciation to for buying from your business. If you just have a couple of people like that, you can turn that into more people like them. So it's really understanding that that name is so important to the process. Now, the second step is to expand the data that you know about this person. So the name is great, the email address is great, but what about their street address? What about their city and state? What about the telephone number? What about other things that you can know about them, that you can keep track of, that will give you an opportunity to serve them better? Many businesses focus on things like birthdays, anniversaries, even the anniversary of someone being a customer. If you do those basic things, that's great, but you might not realize there's so much more you can do. One of the things we used to do in our sports company was encourage teams to take whatever information you knew and add it to the database, so that when you look at that profile, you know much more about that person. Hey, this person is a fan of a particular team, but they live in a different state. This person is a fan of a particular team, but their wife is a fan of another team. These are the other sports that this person really enjoys. You see, all of these ideas are so important. So if someone is decorating their home and they happen to like the walls gray, that's good to know that you sold them X amount of gallons of gray paint. If they have wood floors, if they have whatever, if they have framed prints like I do behind me, that's important to know, because you can then use that to build more relationships with them and to sell them more things and to complement that. Today, the tools exist to do this effectively. When we first started doing this in our sports business, the tools didn't really exist. We had to glue and rubber band and tape systems together in order to do this effectively. But today, there are so many tools out there that enable you to not only track individual names, but track lots of other information about that person, and to see who opens emails, and to collect more data, to combine offline with online, and so forth. So you want to expand that. The limited information you have on your list is going to result in limited contact and limited opportunity. So you want to expand that. Now, the third thing you want to do is to get really busy building the relationship. Email, newsletters, cards, invitations to events, surprises. These are all things you can do when you have more and more information. And when you start to work your database in this way, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to see that open rates are notoriously small these days for email. So what does that mean? Hey, if now that we have their street address, we can drop them something in the mail. Now that we have their phone number, we can give them a call. Now that we have their cell phone, we can text them. There are other ways we can reach people if we look at the data in a complete way and focus on it in a complete way. So if you have a fan, understanding that fan has many different ways to be reached today is important. And you have to look at that fan, respect that fan, collect as much information as you can, and then go to work reaching them via these various methods. Now, the fourth point here is, what do you do when you're reaching out to them? What do you, other than saying happy birthday, happy anniversary, hey, thanks for coming in, and so forth, what are you doing? Well, you're presenting offers to them. You are offering more opportunities to do business with you. You're saying, hey, I've got this this cruise that we're doing for some of our favorite customers next month. Why don't you come join us? Hey, we're doing a free seminar on how to get started quickly with our products and services. Why don't you join us? Hey, we're doing an incentive for people who bring in referrals, who recommend us to other people. Would you be willing to do that? You have to present offers to your audience continuously in order to get them to engage. Now, sometimes these offers are offline. Sometimes you're making phone calls. I have people who are making phone calls on my behalf, and they're speaking with people in my database all the time. They're building friends. They're expanding our relationship. We're offering things to them all the time. Or you might do it online. You might decide that online is the best way to do it. We have, for example, multiple newsletters that we send out every week. And if you want to subscribe to any of those, be sure and contact me at andretaylor.com, and you can see the various categories, and you can select one of those free newsletters. But you've got to present offers to your clients and to your audience so that you can turn them into fans. Because the more they hear from you, the more you feel like part of their family. The more value you present to them, the more they're going to want to hear from you. Now, the fifth step here is to really zero in on those folks who are particularly responsive. Those folks who open, who comment, who engage, who forward your emails. You know, I have a company out there, every time we send them an email, they forward it to everybody in the company, all 60 people or so. That tells me that they really like the content they're getting and they want everyone to understand it. Well, there's a lot we can do with that company, and we continually present offers to them to see if there's a way we can expand the relationship. These are the 5 simple steps associated with building stronger relationships with your audience and turning them into fans. So what are they? Number 1, the first thing you want to do is make sure you're collecting data. If you don't have a name, and if you don't have some basic information about the people who are buying from you or the people who are inquiring with you, you don't have a database that you can leverage to do other things. The second step is you want to make sure that you expand the data that you have. So once you have some basic information, you want to go back in and say, how do I get this person's street address? Can I offer them something so that I can get their street address? Can I get the phone number from them? Can I get information about dates that are important to them? Are there things that we know, things that we observe that we can use to service them better? The third thing you want to do is make sure that you're building a relationship, that you're talking to them, that you're engaging with them, that you're using tools like email, newsletters, and so forth to engage with them on a regular basis. What are we up to? What was that? 3. Number 4, the next thing is you want to make sure that you're presenting offers all the time. Offers that enable them to see that there's more that you have that they can take advantage of. And of course, these offers are the ways that you can drive revenue. And then the fifth thing is to really look at those people who are particularly responsive and recognize that those people you want to give special attention to, because those are what you might call your raving fans. Those are those people who are interested in every single thing you release, every new product, everything that's happening. They're just curious about you, they're supportive of you, and those people are the people you really need to supercharge in this relationship. If you like this tip, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Show me that you are a fan. I've got a lot more here and a lot more coming, and I look forward to sharing more with you. I'll see you next time.